In 1955, the world felt like it was moving toward the future at the speed of sound. We had the jet age, the space race, and the birth of rock and roll. But for millions of Americans, the most important part of the day didn't happen in a laboratory or a stadium. It happened at the end of a long chrome counter. Close your eyes and try to remember. The heavy glass door of the local pharmacy swings open. You're hit with a wave of cool, air-conditioned air, a luxury in those days, and the smell of roasted coffee, newspaper ink, and something sweet. You take your seat on a red leather stool. It's cool to the touch. You spin it once, twice, listening to the rhythmic clicking of the chrome base. Then you see him, the soda jerk. He's wearing a crisp white apron and a paper hat tilted just right. He knows why you're here. Without a word, he reaches for a stainless steel canister. This wasn't just a drink. It was an American ritual. The strawberry shake was the crown jewel of the soda fountain era. But to understand why it tasted so much better than anything we have today, we have to look closer at a world that has almost disappeared. Before the golden arches of fast food chains dominated every corner, there was the soda fountain. These weren't just businesses, they were the town squares of the 20th century. Whether you were in a bustling corner of Brooklyn or a quiet street in small-town Nebraska, the fountain was the heart of the community. In the 1950s, the soda fountain was a cathedral of chrome and neon. Every surface was polished to a mirror finish. It was a place of equality, where a bank manager might sit next to a mechanic, and a teenager could feel like a king for the price of a quarter. The soda jerk was the conductor of this orchestra. The name didn't come from their personality, but from the jerking motion they used on the soda fountain handle to add carbonated water to the glass. They were artists of the afternoon. They knew every regular's name, every kid's favorite flavor, and exactly how much malt to add for that perfect, thick consistency. To be a soda jerk was a point of pride. It required speed, memory, and a touch of showmanship. They were the keepers of the town's secrets, serving up comfort in a tall, faceted glass. What made the 1950s strawberry shake different? It starts with a word we've almost forgotten: authenticity. In an era before corn syrup and red dye number 40, a strawberry shake tasted like strawberries. The berries were often sourced from local farms just a few miles away. They were picked at the height of June, bursting with natural sugar and that deep, wild aroma. They weren't blended into a thin juice. They were mashed by hand into a thick, chunky preserve. Then came the dairy. In the 50s, milk didn't come in plastic jugs. It came in glass bottles with the cream settled at the top. The ice cream was hard-packed, dense, rich vanilla made with real beans and local cream. When the soda jerk added a splash of whole milk and 3 heavy scoops of that vanilla gold, he wasn't just making a dessert. He was creating a high-calorie masterpiece. And then there was the machine. Those heavy multi-spindle Hamilton Beach mixers. They didn't just chop the ice cream like modern blenders. They aerated it. They whipped air into the cream at high speeds, creating a texture that was thick enough to stand a spoon in, but light enough to melt the moment it hit your tongue. It was a perfect balance of science and soul. But the ingredients were only half the story. The magic was in who you shared it with. The 1950s was the era of the two-straw romance. It's an image burned into the American psyche. A boy and a girl in a red leather booth, heads leaned in close, sharing a single strawberry shake. In a world before social media, the soda fountain was the original social network. It's where you went to celebrate a home run in the Little League, where you went to nurse a broken heart, or where you went to simply watch the world go by. For the price of a shake, you bought an hour of time. No one rushed you. There were no to-go cups. You were expected to sit, to linger, and to talk. For many, the first sip of that shake marked the beginning of summer. For others, it was a reward from a father after a long day of chores. It was a symbol of an America that felt safe, prosperous, and sweet. It represented a time when our biggest worry was whether the jukebox would play our favorite song next.
By the late 1960s, the world began to change. Highways bypassed the small towns. Fast food windows
Replaced the sit-down counters. The soda jerks moved on, and the heavy chrome mixers were put into storage. Today, you can still buy a strawberry shake at a drive-thru, but it's not the same. It's served in paper, it's eaten in a hurry, and it's made with ingredients from a factory, not a farm. Maybe that's why we feel that pang of nostalgia when we see an old photo of a soda fountain. We aren't just hungry for the sugar, we are hungry for the pace of life. We miss the weight of the glass, the sound of the laughter, and the simple joy of a summer afternoon that felt like it would last forever. Some flavors aren't just food. They are the ghosts of who we used to be. And as long as we remember that taste, a piece of that golden era stays alive.